Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I rewatched a film that I haven't seen in quite a long time. The Fugitive! The Fugitive is a 1993 film that was directed by Andrew Davis. It stars Harrison Ford as Richard Kimball, and you see at the very beginning of the movie. This is not a spoiler, don't worry. This is very much first few minutes. It's probably in the trailers. Harrison Ford's wife gets murdered, and he immediately gets arrested for this. The cops think that he did it. Her blood is on him. Nobody else is at the scene. Only his fingerprints are at the crime, and it looks really bad. His wife is rich, and so they think he has motive. And it's very apparent though that he is innocent. They don't make any bones about it. You see that this guy Harrison Ford did not kill his wife, and as he's about to be sentenced to death, there's a crash that happens. He escapes, and you sent Tommy Lee Jones as a U.S. Marshal to chase after him, and just like one of the most iconic, famous lines in this movie, Harrison Ford is trying to prove that he's innocent, but Tommy Lee Jones does not care. Now, what I think of The Fugitive is, this movie's great. It is. It's one of those films that I remember seeing as a kid. Don't tell me why. Don't ask why. I don't know why I saw it as a kid, but it was definitely on TV a lot. But it's been a long time. It's been a long few years since I've seen it. So rewatching it now, in some ways it felt like the first time. In other ways, things came back to me as it went along. I will say that Harrison Ford is really good in this role. It's interesting to see him. Sure, he's done plenty of movies, but he's most known for Han Solo, for Indiana Jones. Those larger-than-life type characters where he gets to show his personality and show how much of a badass he can be. To see him play a character here that's vulnerable, that is desperate, that is just basically the whole movie running away. He's running away, but he's also trying to prove his innocence. He's also trying to figure out who really killed his wife. That's somewhat different for him. I enjoyed seeing, you get him at the beginning with the beard and the gray hair, and then he has to shave, and he has to change his look, and he has to constantly go into different places and get as much evidence as he can. But Tommy Lee Jones is probably the standout, not just because he won an Oscar for this movie or because he won many awards, Golden Globes and whatnot, but Tommy Lee Jones, there's something about him that's very entertaining to watch. Tommy Lee Jones has been in a bunch of movies, usually very serious. Usually he's the one emotion type of guy, but here he's business. He's all about doing his job, but he has his moments of throwing in some quirks, throwing in some smart-ass remarks, and I think that's what made him personable. But for the most part, like I quoted with that scene, I don't care. First of all, it's a great moment. It shows you what type of character he is. This is his job. He isn't trying to figure out whether Harrison Ford is innocent. That's not his job. That's not what he has to do. He really doesn't have to care whether or not he's innocent. His job is to catch this guy. His job is to make sure that he's in custody, and that's it. That's final. It's not until things develop along the way where he starts to go, all right, well, maybe there is a one-armed person that possibly killed his wife. And the dynamic of them going back and forth, like when Harrison Ford calls him later, or when because as much as he does want to catch him, Tommy Lee Jones does sort of sit back and question other people, or does start to examine other possible leads that maybe Ford isn't the real right guy. Some of the other cast, you have Celia Ward, who plays the murdered wife, as I call her. Doesn't get a whole lot to do, obviously. For the most part, her scenes are flashbacks and her death. But I have seen this actress in a few other things. I call him Joey Pants because I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Joe Pantoliano or something along those lines. He's the partner of Tommy Lee Jones. You see him in so many movies, right? The Chief from Bad Boys. He's in The Matrix. He's in Daredevil, the movie. He's in Memento. Like he always plays that sidekick type guy, and he's very amusing though. He has his moments of jokes in here. And also Julianne Moore, who I completely forgot was in this film. She plays a doctor who kind of sort of catches Harrison Ford at the hospital when he's pretending to be a janitor. And she only has like really maybe 2 or 3 scenes at the most, and they're short, but she's listed in the credits at like 4th billing. Again, very interesting. Must have been one of the first movies that I had seen her in as a kid, not even remembering or realizing that she was in this movie. So, all in all, what more can I say about this film? It's very enjoyable. It's very thrilling. There are lots of high-tension moments and scenes. Harrison Ford jumping off of the sewer water area, or the moments where he's very close to being caught by the cops or by Tommy Lee Jones, like at the St. Patrick's Day parade, that chase, or even the very end, where I won't get into spoilers if you haven't seen it on what's really going on here, but all of that was some great action-y type moments as well. Still holds up, in my opinion. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you too have seen The Fugitive. What do you think of it? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you think Harrison Ford got robbed of not being nominated or winning an Oscar? Because he was quite good as well. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!